House Republican guy, Eric Cantor?
I just was wondering if you had any dispute with the notion that it does exacerbate the deficit picture.
Well, what I've said in the beginning is, if you have less revenues coming into the federal government and more expenditures, what does that add up to? Certainly, you're going to dig the hole deeper.
But it is not just House Republican Whip Cantor and former Fed Chair Alan Greenspan who will at least admit the tax cuts will worsen the deficit. Those are just the guys who said so on camera. Other Republicans have been more devastating in print. Meet David Stockman, President Reagan's Office of Management and Budget Director. This weekend, the original supply-sider, comparing Republican support for extending these tax cuts to a bankruptcy filing. And, quote, this approach has not simply made a mockery of traditional party ideals, it has also led to the serial financial bubbles and Wall Street depredations that have crippled our economy. More, quote, it's a pity that the modern Republican Party offers the American people an irrelevant platform. That's Ronald Reagan's OMB director speaking. You know, one of the disciples of conservajesus. Then there is the country itself. Only 30% support renewing all the tax cuts. A plurality, 31%, want them all gone. Let's turn now to Robert Reich, Labor Secretary under President Clinton, now a professor at UC Berkeley's Goldman School of Public Policy. Once again, much thanks for your time tonight, sir.
Hi, Keith.
There's lots to talk about here, but I've got to start with David Stockman. When David Stockman, explain David Stockman and the whole idea of this and where he stands now to the younger viewer who does not remember where he was in all this when we went through it in 1981-82.
Well, it's actually very interesting because David Stockman was the architect of the starve the beast idea, and that is that if you spend so much when you are a Republican president and you reduce taxes, you might be able to have kind of a little bit of a spurt of growth, but most importantly, you make it impossible for any subsequent Democrat to spend anything because bond markets will penalize. Bond markets will say, you've got to reduce the deficit. And that, in effect, that theory did prove absolutely correct. But now David Stockman, years later, has, it seems, seen the truth, or is at least willing to be a little bit more candid about what he believes. And that is that deficits over the long term are going to be a problem, and you don't want to expand and extend tax cuts for the rich simply because of that. I mean, that's the height of hypocrisy.
So his relative epiphany plus what Mr. Greenspan said, let me see if I can summarize this. It's not okay, according to the Republicans, to stimulate the economy with borrowed money that goes to unemployment benefits, which Republicans blocked, or to small businesses tax breaks, which Republicans blocked. But it is okay to stimulate the economy with borrowed money that goes to the 2% richest people in the country.
Exactly, Keith. What we've seen again and again is Republicans who say and block unemployment insurance, and they block everything that the middle class needs, and they block sending money to the states so that teachers can stay employed. No, they say none of that's possible because we need to deal with the long-term deficit. But when it comes to extending the Bush tax cut for the top 2%, now we're talking about not the middle class, we're talking about the top 2% of Americans, Republicans, the same Republicans say, oh, well, the long-term deficit is not all that much of a problem. We really do need to extend the tax cut to the top. Well, if that's not hypocrisy, I don't know what is.
The other kind of tax cuts, you support extending tax cuts for the middle class. What happens if Democrats put that on the table?
Well, what's likely to happen, Keith, is a stalemate. That is, the Democrats are going to say, look, we want tax cuts to be extended for the middle class. They are beleaguered. They're getting out from under a huge pile of debt. They can't use their homes as ATMs any longer. And unless they can spend, this economy is not going to create new jobs. But on the other hand, Republicans are going to say the price for you to do that is going to be to extend the Bush tax cuts for the people at the top, the upper 2%. So there's going to be a little bit of a game of chicken going on.
Our next guest wrote and suggested that this was a litmus test for Republicans on whether they're going for increasing the debt or increasing the wealth of the wealthy. But I'd like your perspective on what this test is revealing about the Republican Party of today.
Well, first of all, it's revealing who their real patrons really are. It's not the middle class. It's certainly not the poor. It is the top 2%. It also, though, may reveal something about the American electorate. That is, the American electorate, remember, did fall for the Republican